Welcome to Shillong, Mr. RaviShankar.
Thank you.
So, how was your experience traveling from Guwahati to Shillong?
Yeah, it was a good experience. We took a flight from Chennai to Guwahati, and then from Guwahati to Shillong. It was a very different ride
Yeah,
across the mountains, and you actually make out when you get into Meghalaya.
I
The
see.
landscape changes it's pretty obvious, and it's my second or third time here, so
Yeah,
it's nice to be back here.
of course. And I think it's a pretty decent shift in the temperature as well, right?
Oh yes,
So
definitely.
we do have the winters arriving. Anyway, welcome to the Shillong campus, and thank you so much for coming here. Give us a brief about your journey in your life.
Oh sure. So I've been an IT banking technologist right through. So when I started my journey, right, I was told, uh, take care, Ravi. The mainframe is going to go away. COBOL is going to go away.
Right.
And 30 years later, about 25, 28, 30 years later, COBOL is still there. The mainframe is still there. Most of the big banks or the banks that matter run most of their stuff that matter to them on the mainframe. But the other systems have also grown. So technology has only expanded. It has transcended across all spaces and made things very interesting. Actually, that reminds me, right? When computers came in, people thought or told that computers are going to take away human jobs. Now with AI coming in, people have a very similar feeling. But I'm thinking that it's only going to get bigger and better,
Right.
and it's going to change, not just change the way of working. AI will change the business and the business model completely.
So, in your experience as an executive vice president, how did you see banking incorporate AI over the years?
See, banking has been one of the in the forefront of adopting any new technology.
Right.
So, being the highest spender in tech across all industries, banking has been the number one. So, if you go to a bank, right, a mid-sized bank or a large bank, you will see almost every flavor of every technology in there. Now, with the advent of AI, what AI can quickly do is to take stock of the situation and quickly tell you an as-is scenario very easily. We used to take, say, a week or 2 weeks or slightly longer than that to do a MRI scan of the bank's technical landscape and understand where what is running. With AI, that can happen at the touch of a button,
Right.
provided you have the right data behind it.
So, when you have these kind of unprecedented advancements, especially with technology, how does somebody start with AI? How does a bank or any institution start with AI?
That's a very nice question. Thank you for asking that. Because most of the people working in banks, especially in leadership positions, are now grappling with the challenge, right? This new thing has come. How do I AI? How do I start
That's right.
the journey, and where do I start? And how do I show a result that is going to be sustainable? So, one of the first things that one need to do is to obviously use AI to do a quick scan of the landscape to see where what is there. In parallel, also partner with the business and understand how the business is working today. Not do a business process map, but understand how the business is working, the business flows, how the business is, what the business does to when somebody opens an account or somebody requests for a loan or a top up of an existing commercial loan. What are the steps that the business does with and without the computer? That is very important. Once we have that, now with AI, you can completely reimagine that process. While the tech work of fixing your data issues and ensuring that the right data is there for AI to work on can happen on the side, but that's an invisible backend process. What is much more effective for the bank as a business house is to document their steps that the business does with and without technology, and then review it in the concept of which processes where AI can come in, both as agentic AI as well as generative AI.
So far, from what I have seen, is generally these repetitive yet some things that can be trained to an AI model are the tasks that's first given to it. But given the opacity of how AI might actually handle a task, and you spoke briefly about the kind of opacity that persists between how a journey is taken through from starting to the end when a customer opens an account with your bank. How do you see AI fitting? Does it fit well, or do we have still ways to figure out things?
No, AI is a great fit there. Only thing is, we need to train the hallucination management framework of AI.
Right.
It's like bringing up a child. You need to ensure that the AI engines are trained, the guardrails are defined, and the hallucination management framework of the AI, the LLMs and the SLMs are in place. And once that is in place, you can actually start off with AI as a think buddy for the banker.
Right.
So you introduce that as a think buddy for the banker who co-thinks with the banker, and over a period of time that person becomes a true partner for the banker, so that the same banker can do more in the same time.
We do see a lot of optimism when it comes to AI and its implementation. So, like you said, there needs to be a hallucination management framework around it. With banking and legacy institutions like banking and finance, how do you think that plays a picture?
See, banking is called a legacy institution simply because the investments of technology is very high in banking, and technology has a very short expiry date. Shelf life of new technology is very less. So with banking and the hallucination that is required, you need to put in place a process which is sustainable, and more than the IT or using a tool or looking at AI as a tool or an implementation of a tool, we have to look at this as a complete revamp of the ways of working.
I see.
You have to completely overhaul the ways of working, leveraging AI as a concept, AI as an advisor, and not just AI as a tool. The moment you use AI as yet another new tool that has come in, you have actually underutilized it.
Right, with especially its capabilities. So it's interesting to see how banking and finance companies use it. Initially, it was just doing the initial repetitive tasks, but now where do you see AI going in the future? You said agentic AI is coming to picture. We also spoke about cogents.
Cogent is basically a cognitive agent which has more contextual information about that particular business context, and also it has a cognitive intelligence. A cogent is an agent which can manage other agents. It could be other business process agents or technology agents. Most of the agents that we see today, they are of technology in nature. Cogent is something, they are purely the think buddy that I was referring to,
Right.
is actually a cogent. Cogent is what we in Hexaware are firmly believing in, and we feel that the next big thing that is going to come in banking, in the agentic AI world, is a cogent ecosystem.
It's more like a supervisor handling other AI models.
Exactly, a supervisory AI agentic AI model which manages other AI models and also is responsible for keeping the hallucination framework in place. And there could be cogents who are just responsible for guardrails across the bank.
I see.
You can have a think buddy for your ombudsman. That could be a cogent. So things that require a deep level of cognition could be a cogent, or things that require a high level of coordination across human and other agents could be a cogent as well. So cogent is the next big thing that can be really used in a bank, which will handle other agents that are already there. We in Hexaware, we call it the CAT model. Cogents, agents which do the business processes, and T stands for the technology agents. Because every tech company has a slew of agents which are the technology, just the technology work. But what is more important to the bank is to ensure that the account is opened correctly, faster, the experience is frictionless, there's minimal intervention, minimal need for asking the same information or no need for asking the same information. That is the business process agents. To ensure that both the A and the T are doing the job correctly, you need the C. which is the
Right.
cogent. So that's the CAT model, we call it.
So it's like
CAT.
a complete package.
Complete package, exactly.
So, with how you've just explained how cogents work, India is slowly walking towards its goal to a Atmanirbhar Bharat and Vikasit Bharat. How do you think cogents and agents like these, AI agents specifically, will play a part in making India the Vikasit Bharat it wants to be?
Definitely, it will play a very important part, and we are looking to see if we can help create a marketplace of swarms of cogents, wherein you can have cogent swarms which will actually manage various processes. It could be identity management. Today in India, if you have your Aadhaar card and your PAN card, you can get everything about the person. That actually poses a significant risk of fraud and identity theft. Cogents will ensure that most of the process are AI led, which helps in perfecting human intelligence. AI is not going to replace human intelligence, it is only going to help the human intelligence to be perfected in any stream you take. With the size, volume, and scale that a country like India provides, the problems may be similar, but they are not the same. So you will need the AI to lead the way because of the size and volume, but the human intelligence, the human in the loop has to be there, but that intelligence can be perfected because of the precision and accuracy and the lack of bias that machine brings to the equation.
Absolutely. And I can already see it doing wonders. Especially you saying that it is not augmentative. It's more like it's going to assist you in
Yes.
doing your things. So do you think majority of the roles that Indians would have to play in achieving that goal will be more decision based?
Yeah, it will be more coaching.
Coaching.
It will be more coaching and coaching the cogent to take a decision, and so that the decisions are standard across the board without the bias element, which is what we suffer from. So the human in the loop is required more from a coaching perspective and more from a governance and oversight perspective, and not from a actual doer perspective. So that way we can scale faster. It is very similar to the what the digital mobile networks did to the country.
Oh yeah.
In a jiffy, we were like we were the top country in the world in terms of mobile network reach, because we started late. Our digital networks are far-fetched. Similarly, cogents are going to redefine the way business is done in our country, because the way a loan is processed, the way a loan is evaluated, where a property is assessed, everything will change. But it will change for the better, because it will be standard, it will be without bias, and it will be done in record quick time. You scan a picture in a bank's app, the cogent kicks in, cogent assesses it, in real time tells you what's the loan you can get on your property. You don't have to visit the bank 50 times or talk to two people that you know who have done this before. Nothing. It's like scanning a QR code. It's going to become as simple as scanning a QR code and paying the thela wala on the street, the person who is on the street, and paying money. Payments in India has completely redefined payments in the world, right?
Yeah.
QR code. So similarly, banking operations will also become redefined if cogents come into play.
I can already see that. Like, I mean, now that you explain this, I can already see that helping out a vast majority of people who would have otherwise steered away from it because of, let's say, a higher or a more complicated barrier of entry. So, with people having these kind of options available to them directly, I think it can be a huge democratic, like, sort of a move.
Democratization of the knowledge and the decisioning. What will happen is the purpose of doing things right will get centralized, and the process of getting things right will get distributed. So that way, if you apply for a loan in bank XYZ in east of the country and apply for a similar loan in bank ABC in the west of the country, process is going to be the same. There is a cogent that's going to work behind the scene and be the think buddy for the loan officer.
So, do you think it will cause a lot of issues detecting fraud and risk?
Actually, it will give a lot of insights right from the get-go, and you can actually predict fraud and risk very early
Right.
than what you can do now. Today, most of the banks, especially in the West, and also some of the banks here, they detect fraud after the event.
Right.
By adopting an agentic first approach using the cogent model, what will happen is you can predict fraud even before it happens.
So proactive rather than a reactive.
Proactive even before that, this could be a potential fraudulent transaction, watch out for it. So that the transaction is placed in a different level of surveillance, invisible surveillance.
Also, I'm assuming AI will cause a lot of sort of like a cat and mouse game where even the bad actors will keep on improving their
The
repertoire.
bad AI will keep on improving. The good
Right.
AI has to guard against it, and cyber crimes will have to be watched out for. There is going to be the bad versus good. That's the law of nature, and that's going to happen. And that's why companies like Hexaware become much more important in the equation, because
Exactly.
we constantly will keep on looking out on behalf of our customers, who are looking out on behalf of their customers. So we can look at building proactive fraud defense models, but we can only build so much. There'll always be some hacker somewhere who is one step ahead. So we need to be ahead of that person. So the circle keeps on going. So that will happen. So I'm only anticipating and expecting great times ahead with a lot more work than what we had today.
So a lot of my peers and the listeners would also be going into the world and becoming leaders themselves. So is there a piece of advice that you would want to give it to them so that they can, better navigate this world of ever-changing technologies?
Okay, that's one thing that I've always realized, right? There is nothing to replace the human in the loop. The human intelligence can be perfected with AI. It cannot be superseded at this point in time by AI. So responsible governance and responsible leadership in the world of AI is very, very important. So we have to trust AI, but verify.
Right. And with these words, thank you so much for talking to me and talking to our students here with the visit. And we hope to have you soon.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you. Looking forward. Thank you.